So why is TikTok so obsessed with this sound? Oops, I'm sorry,
So why is TikTok so obsessed with this sound?
Now, I don't know if you've been noticing what's been going on in the past few years, but sped-up remixes feel like they've been kind of taking over the app, okay? Not just the app, but social media in general. Whether you're watching a dance trend or a fan edit or a get ready with me, you might hear a little chipmunk cute little tune going on in the background. If you head to Apple Music right now, or maybe Spotify, or even YouTube, like what we're on right now, you can find a lot of sped-up remixes just getting them views. Racking them up, okay? Thousands on top of thousands, millions on top of millions. And it's cute. I love it. It's a good time. And if you put sped up in the search bar on TikTok right now, there will be a ton of hashtags that just pop up with billions of views. Now, me being the music lover that I am, I was like, I'm curious, okay? One very late night, I went down the rabbit hole of chipmunk soul and nightcore, and it was a whole new world. And some artists are even releasing slow versions of the song, which I'm not mad at. Get your coin. But I think it's time that we talk about it, yeah? I hope you're ready, okay? You got your popcorn? Got your drink? Got your soda? Howdy. Welcome into the No Bluff channel. I'm Hadia. And today we're going to be talking about all things sped up music, okay? Because we have to. It's just time, okay? And I hope that you're following me and No Bluff TV on social media. Why? Because, well, the conversation is just beginning here. Now hold on. Stop the press, okay? Before we can go on and talk about, sped up music and chipmunk soul and all that jazz, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. So in February of 2024, TikTok did something new, okay? For the lack of a better phrase, it got like a new update. Tons of popular music was just suddenly ripped from the platform. Like in a blink of an eye. Like at 12 o'clock, 8 a.m., February 2nd, boom, they were all gone. So this also meant that so many videos just went silent, literally overnight. Now this happened because Universal Music Group, a huge label, could not come to terms with Tiki-Toi. You didn't know, UMG is a company that helps to distribute a lot of music that we love today, okay? Not all of it, but a good amount, okay? There's a lot of stars within the UMG family. So if you're like me, you want to know what all the hoopla was about, right? So according to Forbes, UMG wanted 1, fair compensation for artists and songwriters. 2, they wanted to protect their artists from this crazy AI craze. And 3, they wanted to ensure online safety for TikTok users. Now, Forbes also said that TikTok responded to that, basically kind of, according to the article, accusing UMG of greed. And reportedly, they weren't acknowledging how profitable it is for artists to be on TikTok in the first place. But then UMG responded to that saying, that's an outdated view and you need to get your facts straight because we don't like that. So it got messy. But nonetheless, UMG said, oh, y'all want to play? We gonna snatch all that music from your platform. And of course, this left so many accounts on mute. No Beyonce. You may be looking at me like, okay, so when you gonna get to the point? And I'm about to get to the point. With so many songs now on mute, a lot of those songs are sped up songs, right? See how But I think we can all agree that this is a generation that loves a good old remix. And well, record labels say the same thing. Now, the former global head of A&R, Nima Nasseri, says, quote, instead of spending $50,000 for a remix from a big-name DJ, you're spending relatively minimal amounts on a sped-up rendition and getting much more in reach in return. So that means with more songs, we get more streams. With more streams, there will be more money. Yeah? And then you're getting a little bit more bang for your buck because you're not doing like a whole remix with, 5 different rappers on it. No. Instead, you're just making the song a little bit more sped up, a little bit quicker. So how did we get to this point? So I think it's time you and we take a trip down memory lane. So in the very late 90s and early 2000s, some hip hop producers were getting really creative in the studio when trying to tell a story. That is when we saw high-pitched samples starting to be used a lot more thanks to producers like Just Blaze, RZA, and so many more. And thus, Chipmunk Soul was born. Now, there was a young Kanye who had helped to popularize the Chipmunk Soul sound, but there was also this one rap group named Dipset, who, when it came down to early 2000s functions, you were gonna hear their music everywhere, and they really helped Chipmunk Soul get it on and popping. Now, while the hip-hop community focused more on using high-pitched samples and looping them, on the flip side, there was a Norwegian DJ duo, Thomas and Stefan Say, to make Nightcore. they were very inspired by the band Scooter, who used sped up vocal samples in their tracks. Nightcore was even able to create a cult-like following by 2008, according to NBC News. Now, Nightcore at the time was basically like techno tracks that were sped up, and they got really, really popular during the rave scene at the time. Now, in the early YouTube days, it was very common to hear like a good old Nightcore track in the background of a really good like anime video edit. Way before all of that, I'm talking about back in the day. I'm talking about like in the 1950s. There was this man named Ross, okay? And Ross, you know, he was known by his stage name as David Seville. And he experimented with the speed control of his tape recorder to create this song called Witch Doctor. And boom, his speed control abilities got the best of him. And he created this one group, I don't know if you've heard of them. They were very, very popular at the time, and they got popular later on. I think they were like really, really small in like stature. I think their names were Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Did you sing your song?
I'll say we are. Yeah.
And the world was quite literally never the same. Now, he wasn't the first person to ever like experiment with the speed control of somebody's voice on a track, but he was one of the people who made it popular. Like, it was popping back in like the 1930s as well, because like if you ever watched the old Wizard of Oz, like the Munchkins, I heard that they used speed control to like make them sound like munchkins at the time. So over time, as we can see, like us music listeners, we got like more and more accustomed to this sound that was very chipmunky. It was very cartoony. It was very cute. It was very almost baby-like in some forms. As we come up from the early 2000s and we make our way up into the 2020s, you know what I mean? The internet is moving fast and rapid and fast paced, and social media is becoming a monster of its own. There's something that happens in the midst of that. Boom! TikTok happened. Now, what better way to have more fun on an app that is very, very quick and very, very fast paced than to put some fast paced music behind it all? I think a lot of us, including myself, really love a good and unique voice, if that makes sense, okay? We love a cute little almost teeter-tottering on the cartoony sound. A great example would be like Britney Spears' voice, right? Like a lot of times when she sings and she says she was taught to do this was to sound kind of like a baby almost. If you look at like songs like 3, like 1, 2, 3, yeah, that whole song, it sounds almost like a chipmunk, like, but not a chipmunk at the same time. Like, it just sounds super sped up. At the same time, I feel like these unique voices resemble almost very animated characters. If you look at artists like Flo Milli or Pink Panthers, while those artists do not sound like chipmunks, they do sound very, very animated, right? And I think that that animated sound is just something that we love, like, as consumers and listeners. We just eat it up, baby. Anytime we hear it, we be like, yeah, give me a little bit more of that. Now, we cannot talk about sped up songs and all that jazz without talking about its brother, slowed music. Now, I'm making a whole other video on this slowed sound getting its love too, so make sure you come back by next week. It should be up, okay? I'm holding myself to that. So back to the original thought on sped up songs. Why do you think we're so obsessed with this sound? I think it may be because, you know, not only have we gotten used to the sound from, you know, Alvin and the Chipmunks to Chipmunk Soul to Nightcore and all that jazz, I think the internet is just a spot where, you know, people like to keep it quick, keep it fast, right? And I think that, you know, on social media, that's the easiest way to do so, and it keeps people's attention. And of course, you know, we need a little background sound to like do that. I thank you so much for watching this video. You could have watched any other video on the internet and you chose to watch this one, and for that I thank you. I hope that you are subscribed to this channel. I hope that you are following No Love TV on social media, and you're following me, Hadia, on social media as well. And I hope that you are ready for, you know, what we're about to get into this spring and summer, okay? Because we got a conversation to keep going, and we got some other things that we're gonna do. But you already know what time it is. You gotta tell me, why do you think we are so obsessed with this sound, okay? Why is it everywhere? And what are your favorite sped up remixes, okay? What's your favorite sped up song? And make sure to check out my previous videos like What Happened to R&B Part 1 and 2, because those are separate videos. I'm Hadia, and I'll see you in our next one. Peace out!